I am also proud to and consider it my honor and privilege to introduce our commencement speaker. Robert R. Cherry, president of LC Materials, please come forward. Robert Cherry is president of LC Materials, located in Cadillac, Michigan, and operates 13 ready-mix concrete plants in northern Lower Michigan, along with a 300-acre sand and gravel mine in Lake City, Michigan. LC Materials employs over 135 people, and Rob says they are key to his success and the company's success. Rob was born in Bay City, Michigan, in August of 1961. He graduated from Bay City All Saints High School in 1980 and from Cleary University in December 2003 with his bachelor's in business administration. Rob has worked for 40 years in the construction material industry in positions such as yardman, loader, operator, mechanic, truck driver, plant manager, general manager, vice president, and president. He has extensive experience in operations, quality control, systems implementation, and finance. He has served on the board of directors of the Michigan Concrete Association and was its chairman in 2000. He has also served on the board of directors for Ohio Ready Mix Concrete Association and the Ready Mix Concrete Association of Ontario. He is currently on the board of directors of the Cadillac Chamber of Commerce. When I got a chance to talk with Rob, I can tell you this man has found his golden thread throughout his life, and we are very proud to have him as an alum and soon to be our honorary doctorate. So without further ado, I'd like you to hear some words of wisdom from a good man and a great example of Cleary University alumni, soon to be Dr. Rob Cherry.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, President Boyers, faculty, staff, trustees, graduates, alumni, and other friends of Cleary University. When President Boyers, Dr. Bennett, and Dr. Clark approached me and asked me to speak to you today, I was first and foremost very flattered and very, very surprised, basically shocked. You see, being an old truck driver at heart, one usually doesn't do too many speeches, let alone a commencement speech at a university. As President Boyer stated in my introduction, I'm a proud Cleary University graduate, and President Boyers did not misspeak. I did graduate in 2003 at the age of 42. Thank you. I'm sure some of you think I'm part of the inaugural graduating class of Cleary College back in the 1880s. I can assure you that is not the case. Even though to some of you younger graduates today, I may look ancient, believe me, as you get older, my current age will look younger and younger all the time. I just want to say that coming back to Cleary University this weekend, I am absolutely stunned at the transformation. Over the past 15 years, the growth here is unbelievable. When I was here, there was simply the Chrysler building and a little asphalt drive that came back into here. This is stunning. This is truly a university we can all be proud to be part of and call our alma mater. I'll take a few minutes now to explain my journey from a kid who loved big trucks to really a big kid who owns some big trucks. I can tell you that luck has been a big part of my journey. And I believe for most of you, it is part of your journey to date. You see, I, like most of you, were born in the United States of America. And we have the freedom to accomplish anything we want to in our lives. Do you realize what a gift it is to be born in the United States or have the opportunity to live and go to school in the United States, to work and pursue your dreams in the United States, Statistics will tell us we all had less than a 5% chance of being here in the United States. Don't ever underestimate this awesome gift. Pursue your dreams. Myself, like most, did not have a nonstop ticket to our dreams. I know I had several layovers and a few canceled flights along the way. I'm reminded of a quote from Earl Nightingale, who said, "Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. We might just as well put that passing time to the best possible use." Next, I was lucky and blessed to have amazing parents. Parents who loved me, who taught me right from wrong, that life is made of choices, both good and bad. Don't blame others. You have to take personal responsibility for all of your actions and choices. Integrity in your word is everything. I said I had amazing parents, not wealthy parents. We didn't have much growing up, but my brother and I never noticed because our parents created a loving, caring home for our family. I tried early on to show my parents how we could live the good life. As an example, one very hot, humid Sunday afternoon, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, we went out on our weekly drive around town, and maybe an ice cream cone if my brother and I behaved. This was our entertainment for the week during the summer, the Sunday afternoon drive around town or out in the country. Now, it's one of those 90-plus degree days, very humid, no wind, nothing like yesterday, no wind, not a breath of air. And I suggested that we should ride around town with our windows rolled up like the rich people do. Because you see, they had air conditioning in their cars. Again, showing my age, most cars years ago didn't have air conditioning. It was a luxury for those with money. Well, my parents looked at me, looked at each other, and just shook their heads. There were numerous times over the next several years that my parents had serious concerns about me, and justifiably. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I didn't get an ice cream cone that particular Sunday. Moving forward, my next-door neighbors owned a small ready-mix concrete company. And again, I was lucky the oldest son, who was and still is like a second big brother to me, let me go to work with him. Really get in the way, get under his feet. But he had great patience with me, and he taught me how to operate the trucks. He let me drive the trucks around the yard. The same with the cat wheel loaders and all the other heavy equipment. And I'm sure against the better judgment of my mother, hang around the drivers and learn truckers' vocabulary. A skill that I would master, a skill that and would get me into plenty of trouble throughout my years, and occasionally still does. By the way, I was 10 years old when I started to go to work with my neighbor and to learn how to run this equipment. By the time I was 16 years old, I was driving a concrete truck, better known as a cement mixer to most people. I did this during my summer vacations in high school and on weekends. It was my passion. I loved it. I loved the trucks. I loved driving the trucks. I had the best job a high school kid could ever had. They wouldn't have ever had to pay me. The paycheck was just icing on the cake. My hope for all of you is to find something you're as passionate about. If you can find what you are passionate about in your careers, you will never have a job, you will never dread Monday mornings, and you will never be hoping for the weekend by Wednesday. It was during this time in high school that I met the love of my life, my wife Debbie, who is seated, I believe, I'm not used to having lights in my eyes, over to the left here, is with me today. It was truly love at first sight for me. For Debbie, not so much. Not so much. It would take over 4 years to convince her I was Mr. Wonderful. By the way, the Mr. Wonderful interpretation is mine, not Debbie's. I would ride around town after work in the summertime, and I would see her car at a friend's house or at her older sister's house, and stop by to see her. When our kids listen to their mother tell this story, they say, "Dad, my God, you were stalking Mom." No. Just making sure she wouldn't forget me over summer vacation. Well, Debbie finally figured out my sarcastic sense of humor, and we were married in June of 1982. I was 20 and Debbie was 21. Some would say I finally wore her out and she surrendered. Today we have 3 wonderful adult children and 4 beautiful grandchildren. Like all things in life, though, there are challenges. And we faced a challenge that you really can't prepare for. And we were not prepared for. Our youngest son, Bradley, who is 27 years old today, was diagnosed at the age of 9 months with failure to thrive and eventually developmentally delayed. We were in shock. The doctors were wrong. The other experts were wrong. This wasn't fair. This isn't happening to us, to me, to our family. All those thoughts went through my head. Well, the doctors were right. Brad more than likely has a flaw in a single chromosome that science hasn't been able to detect or label at this time. Brad is another part of my lucky in life story. You see, I truly believe that all things happen for a reason. Today we have a very close-knit family. Brad has the most loving and caring older sister and older brother a sibling could have. Brad is a blessing from God to our family. I always ask the question, would we be as close without Brad? Would we have the relationships in our family without Brad? I don't know. But I believe Brad is the glue that holds us so tightly together. We have had friends and others say to us, "That's too bad about Brad." They don't get it. We are the lucky ones. We are so blessed to have the opportunity to have Brad in our lives. I'm happy to tell you that Brad is doing great. He works 2 different jobs that he absolutely loves and participates year-round in multiple Special Olympic events. I tell you this story about our family to let you know there will be challenges for all of you moving forward. You or I don't know what those challenges will be, but they will come. And it's how you handle these challenges and adversities that will determine your future. Remember, adversity is a series of experiences in life that helps to build character. I would continue to work for the family business my neighbors owned until the year 2000. Throughout those years, it would become very challenging due to family infighting. I was as close to family as you could be, so I contributed to that infighting. The oldest son struggled with alcoholism, my ego, and thinking I knew a lot more than I actually did. I eventually moved on to work for a few larger ready-mix and aggregate companies, both privately owned and publicly owned companies. The family business was turned over to the youngest son to manage and is doing great. We're all still very close and talk on a regular business. We all survived. While still working at my neighbor's business and then moving to my next employer, U.S. Concrete in Farmington Hills, my attitude had changed. I became very disillusioned, very bitter, very, very bitter that things weren't working out the way I had envisioned. I was letting the negative voice inside my head win. Learn to fight those negative thoughts. It won't be easy at times, but battle through it. It can be the difference between winning and losing. And the difference between winning and losing is so small, it's scary. You have to replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts. So what was my answer to crush negative thoughts going through my mind? A simple cassette tape program. I had come across an advertisement for a motivational self-help type tape collection. I purchased the program called Lead the Field by Earl Nightingale, who I quoted earlier. Earl was a Chicago radio personality and one of the first to produce a self-help type program. Well, I heard this one phrase and never forgot it. Get better, not bitter. Get better, not bitter. Graduates, those 4 words changed my life and gave me direction. That program, if I recall, costs $59. Its value to me and my family, as the saying goes, was priceless. Those conversations we have within our own mind don't ever go away. At least they don't for me. I might be a little strange. But we can control the tone and attitude of those voices, and that simple cassette tape program gave me the ability to control my own thoughts and change my attitude towards everything. Another Earl Nightingale quote I think is worth sharing. Our attitude tells the world what we expect in return. If it's a cheerful, expectant attitude, it says to everyone with whom we come in contact that we expect the best in our dealings with our world. So what I did was search and figure out how to make myself better and leave the bitterness behind. Nearly 20 years ago, Cleary University offered me a chance to complete my goal of obtaining a college degree in a format that fit my schedule. That schedule was attending classes 2 evenings a week. I would leave home in Bay City at 5 a.m. to be at work in Farmington Hills by 7 a.m., then head from work to the old Cleary campus here in Howell for class from 6 to 10 p.m., and then back home to Bay City by around midnight. I tell you this to explain the desire I had to get better and leave that bitterness behind. I had an amazing experience at Cleary, and my degree from Cleary is still something I'm most proud of being able to complete with the help of so many other people. My family, my employer, the Cleary faculty and staff, and most of all, my Cleary classmates. I think we pulled each other through. We really did. It was tough at times, but without them, I would have never made it. I can honestly say that my Cleary degree opened doors that would not have been available to me otherwise, and gave me opportunities to get to this point in my life today. You should all be very proud of your accomplishments and your degree from Cleary University on this graduation day. I'll start to wrap up my talk with you today about the importance and, again, the luck I have had to have people who've helped me along the way. Mentors who gave their time and wisdom to help me achieve things I otherwise could not have. Business partners who helped me achieve my dream of owning a business when they really didn't have to take on the risk at that point in time in their lives. Strive to surround yourself with positive people. Don't go around telling everybody your problems. 90% of people don't care about your problems. The other 10% are glad you have them. That's why we're always twittering and all that, right? And telling everybody's problems. They love it. You control your own destiny. Keep the positive thoughts flowing through your mind, no matter how difficult it gets. And finally, a few things I learned in leading people that you may be able to apply, whether it's in your business life, your personal life, or for that matter, any other type of group you may be involved with. My first mentor, the oldest brother of the neighbor's business, he taught me that asking please and saying thank you to the people that you manage or lead doesn't cost anything, doesn't cost a penny, and when said sincerely, goes miles to lead people. Use the golden rule when dealing with anyone, whether it's in your business setting or personal situations. Treat people the way you want to be treated. It's not that easy at times, but strive to always employ it. Don't buy into the theory that you can't get close to the people you lead or manage. I love the people that I work with, and that work for our company and truly care about their well-being and their livelihoods, that they have the opportunity to succeed. It can be tough at times when you have to get after them or even part ways. But I believe it's the only way to lead people and treat people. People know if you're genuinely interested in them and their well-being. So remember, find that something you are deeply passionate about. If you're not passionate about something, you're wasting your time. Being passionate about your goals and dreams will make every day a new adventure. When adversity presents itself, make it an opportunity to grow and learn from. I love a quote from Henry Ford about facing adversity. He stated, "When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it." Always, always strive to get better, no matter your age or level of success. No bitterness allowed. It has been a true honor and my privilege to speak to you on this very special day of your commencement. Thank you.
Robert, you got to stay up with me for a minute. I want to thank you for an inspiring speech. This is how it was when I went to meet him for lunch for the first time. At this time, I'd like to ask Trustee Clark and Professors Enkenbrand and Fagan-Chanhalter to come up and help me with the presentation of the honorary doctorate. So I'm going to bring you over to this side.
Okay.
The citation that accompanies Robert Cherry's honorary doctorate reads as follows. Cleary University citation presented to Robert Cherry. Whereas Robert R. Cherry is the president of LC Materials, and whereas Mr. Cherry operates 13 ready-mix concrete plants in northern Lower Michigan, along with a 300-acre sand and gravel mine in Lake City, Michigan, and whereas Mr. Cherry's company, LC Materials, employs over 135 people that he says are the keys to the company's success. And whereas Mr. Cherry has worked for 40 years in the construction materials industry in multiple positions, from yardman to president, and whereas Mr. Cherry has extensive experience in operations, quality control, systems implementation, and finance in his field, and whereas Mr. Cherry is actively involved in the board of directors for the Cadillac Area Chamber of Commerce. Now therefore be it resolved that for his achievements cited herein, and for his contributions and his service accruing to his community, city, state, and the United States and Canada, Cleary University is privileged to confer upon Robert R. Cherry an honorary degree, Doctorate of Science in Business Administration. Unanimously, this unanimously adopted by the Cleary University Board of Trustees on this 5th day of May, 2018, as signed by Joe Parker, Chair, and Glennis McBain, Secretary, Board of Trustees. Congratulations.